Hey, I'm Eddie Gallagher, I'm retired Navy SEAL. I have a story at the end of my career where I was facing life without parole.
Special Operations Chief Edward Gallagher has pleaded not guilty to fatally stabbing and wounding a teen ISIS fighter in Iraq, as well as opening fire on a crowd of civilians.
Burning, burning, burning. Move back!
We never even fathomed that something like that was possible, and I guess most people, when they get into these types of situations, they don't know how to deal with them.
I was watching TV and I hear like banging on the door, and I hear a couple voices like whispering, and I look through the curtain. I see like a bunch of dudes in like decked out gear and guns.
Weren't you tasked with taking out ISIS?
Yes. Yeah.
So what made it murder in this case?
Because they labeled him as a prisoner, so you can't kill him. That was a lie. He was never a prisoner.
I think he just wants to kill anybody he can.
Dark testimony from members of SEAL Team 7 paint a chilling picture of violence by their platoon chief.
Navy SEALs are among the most elite warriors on the planet. They have a reputation for excelling in the most challenging environments, executing their mission flawlessly on land or sea and at any time, day or night. As a young high school wrestler, I was obsessed with becoming a Navy SEAL and even went to a Navy SEAL intensive wrestling camp at the Naval Academy. Today, we get to spend 24 hours with one of the most notorious Navy SEALs alive, Eddie Gallagher. Known initially in the SEALs for having an impeccable record and leading one of the top teams in SEAL Team 7, Eddie faced major controversy in a fight for his freedom when in 2018, he was accused for war crimes on an ISIS soldier. Facing life in prison without the chance for parole, he stood trial against the very US government that he had served faithfully and risked his life for almost 2 decades. In this episode, we cover the gamut. We run and shoot, we blow shit up, and we get the intimate details behind Eddie's fight for his life and his trial. It's time to boot up. Hoorah, over and out. We're driving through the beautiful Destin, Florida area to go to the home of a Navy SEAL, Eddie Gallagher. And this is a really special story to me. When I was a kid growing up, I was obsessed with becoming a Navy SEAL, probably from when I was freshman in high school till towards the end of high school. I thought I was going to become a Navy SEAL. Then I probably got into more of my, let's say, Rastafarian days. I dabble in a lot of conspiracy theories, and the idea of being that tough, that trained, that brotherhood was really cool. But I just couldn't see myself going to war for the US government. Also, I'm just not a killer. I'd rather give you a hug than send a bullet your way. And this is a man who had a long career in the SEALs, about 20 years. It's a very impeccable record, but also in the media, you see controversy, you see accusations, war crimes, and things like that. And I'm excited to dive into his story and see what he's about. What's happening, brother?
How you doing, bro?
Good to meet you.
You too.
We're gonna show what expert gun handling looks like you saw in the St. Louis video. Like the guy had his gun like this, and I'm like, you're walking behind
For
him.
you gangbangers out there, This is, we'll teach you proper
Safety.
gun safety.
Yeah. Should we head to the range?
Yeah.
When you saw on a document your name versus the United States government, what went through your head? On September 11, 2018, Eddie Gallagher was arrested at Camp Pendleton and charged with premeditated murder, attempted murder, obstruction of justice, and a long list of other offenses. The accusation of murder came from 3 of Eddie's SEAL teammates stating that he stabbed a wounded ISIS prisoner to death. Under the Geneva Convention, a prisoner, even an ISIS one, needs to be treated humanely and given medical treatment. Eddie's defense was that their orders were to kill all ISIS fighters and take no prisoners, hence he did nothing wrong. In the meantime, Eddie was thrown into the brig and held for 9 months while awaiting trial. If convicted, he was looking at life in prison. You were in military prison for 9.5 months before your trial, right?
Correct.
Some
Yes.
of it in solitary confinement?
Yeah.
I think I was so young that it didn't really register, or like I didn't think of it like my dad was locked up. It felt like maybe like another deployment, but it really set in when I went to the prison and I saw him there, and I saw like all the other families visiting him. It came as a surprise because I'm like, my dad was in the military and then now he's in prison because of the military. I didn't add up.
Perhaps the person who had the most impact on the outcome of the trial was Eddie's wife, Andrea. Realizing the dire position her husband was in, she went on the offensive and took to social media to try and bring the truth to the people.
But we really relied heavily on our faith, and we knew that my husband was innocent. We didn't feel that there was anything that could be made of some of the accusations that were coming against him.
It's a lot of weight to take on, and it's definitely feels like a huge betrayal. Especially it's the government that I was serving and gave everything to for the past 19 years. So this is Stronghold Soft Solutions. This is a range. It was started by Brandon Graves and Tom Morton. It's a bunch of different special operators work here from different branches. So we all bring our own unique flavor, but we all meld together here and are able to sort of drop the egos and be like, hey, each one of us knows how to do different things. Let's try and meld together and teach together.
What up?
Hey guys. This is Scott, Tom.
I'm also Tom.
Nice to meet
Scott, nice to meet you, buddy.
What the hell do you have here?
This is a deck cord. I guess we're blowing up a car later, so we're just getting ready for it. Former Army 75th Ranger. Did that for about 10 years. Deployed 3 times to Afghanistan. Been out now it's been about 5 years. We started up Stronghold, and I'm kind of doing what I used to do, but here on the civilian side now.
How long did it take you to figure out how to work explosives?
I'm an engineer, so I went to a school for it, and then it was my primary job.
What did it make you guys think to see how the United States handled getting out of Afghanistan?
Disheartening.
Yeah.
Very typical if you look at
Embarrassing.
history.
Almost ubiquitously, everyone is unhappy with how that went down.
Yeah.
To put it nicely.
To see these other like generals and admirals who were in charge of planning that whole withdrawal, what a failure it was, and then to watch them stand up there and say, no, it was a success, and we lost 13 service members during it. That right there, I think, is what the ultimate, it's like a huge betrayal to a lot of us.
We played whack-a-mole in Afghanistan for over 20 years, only to hand it back over to the Taliban. So
we get told that there's a reason why we're doing what we're doing that doesn't actually align with reality. I think that there's pressures from industry keep us fighting in places that maybe we shouldn't fight. I don't think it was a total waste, but I also think we miss an opportunity to kind of finish the job.
You want to blow up this car?
Let's blow it up.
All right, so this is your initiating system, what's going to set off the deck cord. All right, so this is to be draped across that berm on the other side to our minimum safe distance, and then we're going to have you clack this M81 off. Sound good?
Is this going to put me on a no-fly list?
I think if you take a shower and you get all the explosive residue off, you'll be okay.
I'm going to have to shower good because I leave tomorrow morning.
With all the places that you've been so far,
yeah.
I've seen some of your interviews. If you're not on a no-fly list, this is not going to get it.
This ain't going to be it. So there's a safety on this M81. That's basically your firing device, which is going to clack off or initiate this black powder that's in here. Okay. And then that spark's going to travel all the way down, hit that blasting cap, and then set everything off, right? Push this in, turn, and then you're going to look at me. I'm going to give you the thumbs up. I'm going to say burning, burning, burning. On that last burning, you're going to pull it. All right? Push that in, turn it. All right. Burning, burning, burning.
So this explosion was made possible by LFGO. Caffeine in a pouch. Instead of having to get some goddamn energy drink with sugar in it, you get some LFGO, stick it in your upper lip, let the caffeine work its way into the bloodstream.
I like it.
Yeah, Stacy.
Yeah.
Fucking go, dude.
Do it, so.
They've had to refill us because we keep going through what they send us. Puts pep in our step. When we're out here making moves, order something to your house, give it a try. Use code TommyG for 20% off your first order. Do yourself a favor, and you gotta make moves in life, so let's go.
What went wrong that 3 of your own platoon is saying this guy's guilty of war crimes?
Is there any possible way that what he was doing could be interpreted as for medical purposes to help this guy?
No.
There's no way this was anything other than to attack and to kill this person?
No.
Nobody in that platoon had been to combat, except for one individual, I think. And there was a lot of atrocities going on, and for somebody to go into that environment as their first time going into combat and seeing that can be a lot to take on. They lodged complaints because during that deployment there were complaints that they did not believe in the mission, they did not want to go out every day, that this was too dangerous. I heard their complaints and probably in a not so nice way told them to shut the up and this was the job. I had to formulate sort of a mutiny amongst themselves. I guess I was too brash. Got back from that deployment. They came forward at first with very little petty complaints, and so when they weren't getting the answer they wanted, they escalated their allegations eventually, and this was 7 months down the line after we got back from deployment, that I had murdered an ISIS prisoner.
Let's examine ISIS, the enemy Eddie and his SEALs were tasked with exterminating. These guys operate under a fundamentalist ideology called Salafi Jihad, and in their jihad, or holy war, they viewed martyrdom, the practice of unaliving yourself in an attempt to take out the infidel, as the ultimate form of jihadic expression. And to give you an idea of how low these guys are willing to stoop, they often convince mentally challenged people to do the jihad instead of themselves. They enjoy using extreme tactics such as high production executions that were spread across social media, which included the beheading of American journalist James Foley, to spread terror across the world. I mean, these guys were so bad that to this day, even the Taliban fights against them. ISIS has inspired a massive rise of Islamic extremism across the globe, and they were behind the shooting of workers at Paris satire magazine Charlie Hebdo after the magazine published drawings of the Prophet Muhammad, as well as what was at the time the worst mass shooting in the United States, the Pulse nightclub shooting, wherein 29-year-old Omar Mateen pledged allegiance to ISIS before killing 49 people inside of a gay club in Orlando. This is the enemy that Eddie and his team were up against, and where his team deployed, there were thousands.
Steady, slow squeeze, and that gun, boom, should surprise you.
Okay.
Did that scare you?
I thought it was actually...
I know you're gonna.
Okay.
I'm gonna rest my thumbs along here. What I like to do is take this thumb and put it in that pocket right there. Try that out when we're actually shooting. That helps manage the recoil. There you go.
Holy shit. There's levels to this game, folks. There's levels to this game.
No, hey, dude, you did great, man.
The ting is so satisfying to hear, and the miss is just like, what the hell?
I was taken out of the job I had at the time and told that I had to sit in a corner and wait until the investigation was done to see what happened. My house was raided. My son Ryan and my other son Trevin were pulled out at gunpoint.
I was watching TV and I hear like banging on the door and I hear a couple voices like whispering. That's all I heard, and then I look through the curtain and I see like a bunch of dudes in like decked out gear and guns. I mean, yeah, it was pretty crazy.
Someone wants their camera time. We never even fathomed that something like that was possible, and I guess most people, when they get into these types of situations, they don't know how to deal with them or how to get to the other side of them. But in the end, it turned into a huge national media storm.
You know, my wife is my best friend and the best human being that I know, but like me, she has a line that you cross, and if you cross it, you're gonna feel her wrath, and family is on that line.
So they raided our family home, they took my kids out at gunpoint, and so when we originally had thought there's just no way that this is gonna happen, it was pretty much in our face that it was us against the government and that we had to do anything necessary to help protect our family, my family. And then the main protector of our family, which is my husband, was now thrown in jail. But in the end, it turned into a huge national media storm. So every single day was just fighting for him, fighting for, you know, his freedom ultimately, because he was incarcerated even before he went to trial. So I really truly feel like what they were doing was they were trying to break us, they were trying to break our family, and it didn't work in the end.
When they dragged my kids out at gunpoint and then they threw her husband away for no reason, she stood up and started fighting back. She started a organic social media campaign and started putting out the truth about what was really going on, which was a complete opposite of what the media was putting out, and eventually was invited onto Fox News, and that's when she caught the president at the time, which was President Trump's ear.
For this next scene, we're gonna be shooting out of a car and doing some car warfare. Stay tuned. Let's get you up, folks.
So once we hit that last vehicle, we're gonna turn around and start bounding back. What that means for you,
get it back.
You need to get a head start. You know what I mean?
Contact front, vehicle down.
Out of ammo.
Winchester!
Hey, we're Winchester. Break down the performance.
Yeah, obviously you guys see how it is to shoot and move and communicate with partners, right? And you can realize you're not going to be able to talk to each other like, hey, I'm doing this or I'm doing that, because he's engaged with whatever targets he's engaging, right? An initial call needs to come out that you both know, like, all right, we're both on the same page, and then you both are executing that call off the sound of gunfire, right? I pimped you, I was like, hey, move, he's shooting, so we were the first ones to move. Once you get up there and you start shooting, that gives him the signal, okay, he's got me covered, I can move to the next thing. Right?
As always, teams moving one at a time to give each other cover and advance.
What, shoot, move, and communicate, cover and move.
Do you think ISIS could have gotten me?
I think a clown could have gotten you. Yeah.
So if you take a look around, guys, we are in a kill house. What this is a bunch of rooms so they can practice clearing and they can practice breaching doors. Because if you're coming into the middle of the night to get someone in their house, in their hut, in their compound, you really got to know how to operate. So they'd be doing this with night vision goggles and all sorts of equipment. Mission accomplished?
Yep.
Okay, so a mission just happened. You just cleared a house. You got rid of all the bad guys. Now what do you got to think about?
What am I going to drink when I get home?
What role did Trump play in this?
Eventually, after, like I said, I was in 9.5 months, he tweeted out to get me out of prison so I can properly defend myself before trial. Then the Navy decided to go after my trident and take my trident away from me before I got out. And again, he stepped in and said, you will not take his trident, get back to work.
When the verdict got read, innocent, describe your feeling after.
My heart was pounding, you know, I think that's probably one of the scariest moments in my life.
Well, Eddie Gallagher has been found not guilty of war crimes and the murder of an ISIS prisoner.
Like we're finally vindicated after being terrorized by the government that my husband fought for 2 decades in the war on terror. He is a righteous and noble individual, and his name has been smeared and slandered and dragged through the mud. And I think that this vindication, I hope, will be a lesson learned to everybody that we need to uphold innocent until proven guilty, due process, and we need to afford the benefit of the doubt to our war heroes who we send over there to fight these evils.
Nothing comes close to that, because you're about to hear what 7 individuals determine what you're going to do for the rest of your life. So when all of them came out innocent, it was a lot to take in at the time. I think I was in shock for about 5 minutes afterwards. Just couldn't, like, a lot of buzzing just going on, and I was like, holy shit. Probably one of the greatest days ever.
And there's a verse in the Bible, then you'll know the truth and the truth will set you free. And I always firmly believe that God had allowed us to go through this and that we were going to come out triumphant. This is the photo of us walking out of the courtroom, and you can see the look on my face. I basically have the look of, like, I told you so.
Chief Edward Gallagher was found not guilty yesterday of murdering a suspected ISIS prisoner in Iraq.
It was amazing to walk out of the courtroom and basically tell people that this should never happen to our service members, and we were going to be a part of the solution to that and not part of the problem.
I'm out of my normal routine, so I haven't shit yet today, so I'm a little worried that you might push that out of me.
Could happen.
I'm also just aware that sand all over your body causes a lot of
friction.
It's not comfortable.
It's not it's not ideal.
This isn't like a Thai spa massage.
It's all in perspective. It's how you look at it.
All right, well, on that note, let's nut up and let's get to work.
Let's do it. You ready to start? You ready to do? You want your, about 20 minutes of a Bud's feel?
Don't get too big of a smile, all right?
Hey. Guys who are coming back from Iraq, shot, hurt, silver stars, those guys were all my instructors, bro.
Yeah, who were your instructors?
Dude, my first phase, and people say, oh, our first phase was tough. Bro, my first phase instructor, one of them was Eddie Gallagher.
Oh, shit. You know, he is known as, like, he's a legend as far as, like, not even on the warrior side, although he's known for that too, but like you hear about on the training side, like people are like, yo, I had Eddie Gallagher.
Bro, he's tough as fuck.
Hey, you wanted to do this, all right?
Yeah.
So you got 15 seconds to go hit the surf, get wet, roll around. I want sand completely covered in your body, and then report back to me. Go. I can see non-sandy parts here. All right, so you obviously didn't listen. Your hair is pretty pristine. Think you're completely covered? No, failed. So, as a reward for failing, I want you to bear crawl to that tent right there. You bear crawl all the way around it and come back to me. Go. Is that as fast as you can go?
Pretty fast.
I think you can do faster than that. Do it again. Stop thinking about your pain. Stop thinking about how out of breath you are, how much this hurts. Just think about the task at hand and accomplishing it. No resting. There's no time to rest in war. Let's go. You gonna quit? Don't cut corners. No cutting corners in life. We're not even 4 minutes into this. You know what a seal drag is? I want you to lay on your stomach. Now I want you, without using your legs, drag your body all the way to that tent. There you go. Stop. Put your face all the way into the sand right now. Cover your face with sand. Now go, keep going. I'll help you out a little bit.
Thank you, Drill Sergeant.
Get a nice sugar cookie. You don't want to be a half-ass sugar cookie.
No, I like cookies.
right. All right, get up. Go get wet.
How long would this workout last for in buds?
2 to 3 hours.
2 to 3 hours?
Yeah.
At this pace?
Pretty much, yeah. And that 2 to 3 hours on to the next painful evolution. You do that over and over and over again. Bigger cookie. Get Sandy. We don't want to cheat ourselves. What I want you to do. You're gonna grab your ankles here. Squat. Like a monkey football. Squat all the way down, holding your ankles. Up. Down. Up. Hold on to those ankles. Up. Hands are not on your ankles. Go sprint to the end of the fence and come back. Drop down in the push-up position. On my count, when I say down, you will go down. When I say up, you will come up. All right? Sure. I want 25. Can you do 25 push-ups? Yeah? Down. Up.
Hi.
Down. Up.
Here.
Down. Up.
Hey.
When I say down, you're going to take your forehead and place it in between the middle of that diamond. Got it? Down. How'd that feel?
It's amazing how quick it takes to break down the body and have the mind be tested, thinking about quitting. I don't think I did more than 35 push-ups. They were shitty ones at that the entire time, but yeah.
Just think about this in your head. We did about 14 minutes. All right, this goes on for 3 hours. The only breaks you get are probably like little 4-minute water breaks real quick. Chug some water in your canteen and continue.
After a 3-hour session, how long do you get to recover?
There's no recovery. You go get briefed on your next evolution. So after this, you could go right into surf passes to get the boats, and you'll be paddling out, come back in, make it to dinner. You might have a little bit extra beat down after dinner, and then it's like, I gotta make it to bed. And then the next morning you start up, and guess what? You're doing it all over again.
And this is all physical, or are there any mental classes?
It's mostly all physical, but with the physical, it's so physical, it becomes mental.
You were a budge instructor, right?
Yeah.
How long were you a budge instructor for?
Almost 2 years.
Do you think you could tell whether someone was gonna make it through or not from the very beginning?
No.
And what were the signs of a winner?
They were there at the end of Hell Week. I mean, there's guys that come through that are professional athletes that decided they wanted to serve their country and try out for the SEAL teams, and they are like just jacked studs when they show up, and they quit the second week. The class would start off with 120, 130 people. Maybe 20 to 30 will make it at the end. Sometimes there's classes where there's 6 people left.
Growing up, I kind of felt like SEALs are like the ultimate superhero, because I think as men, we're here to test ourselves. And this to me is like the ultimate test of like, this is the upper echelon of a tough thing you can do in life. What would you say to kids that are watching this? They're inspired to see a guy like you.
Well, I'll say this. The one thing you can count on the military is change. Stuff changes all the time. So right now, if kids are looking at the military and they're like, they see the administration that's in charge and how they're using the military, and they're like, hey, I don't want to serve under that. And I've talked to kids like this. I'm like, just know that it will change, but at the end of the day, no matter who's in charge, if you wanted to be a SEAL and you have that aspirations, then go for it. Just know if you're going to go do it, you better make it an obsession. You better be obsessed with it, because that's what it has to take in order to make it through and become a SEAL. Like, it has to be your #1 priority.
Yeah.
You're putting that above all else. But also, if you're going to be a SEAL, if you're joining that, know why you're joining it.
Folks, just a reminder, if you want to get yourself some LFGO, it's a sugar-free caffeine supplement. It gets some pep in your step. Use my code TommyG20 for 20% off your first order. Thank you guys, and see you next week.
Folks, hope you enjoyed this episode. You want to watch another? Here. You want to subscribe? Over here. See you next week.